what's up, guys? Ben Bennett here, back with another stream, this time in Native VR, the first FSEconomy stream I'm going to do in Native VR. And we're in Hawaii with my favorite GA plane, which is the vFlyteAir SR20. And I'll get paid to say that. I bought this plane. I just love this plane so much. And I'm actually teleported outside the plane here. That's why you have this really nice, cool view with a tower in the back. And there's so much you can do with VR. And we're going to explore some of that stuff tonight. So really looking forward to that. And I appreciate you guys joining the stream here. And it looks like the frame rates are holding at 45. So everything's going okay and looking good. I do put a little bit of tax on my system when I'm streaming because I'm streaming from one PC. And the same PC that I'm flying on. So just haven't invested in a streaming PC yet or that whole technology. But in any event, that aside, we're using X-Plane 11.20 VR Beta VR1, which is the first release, which came out on Christmas Day, I believe it was. It came out, and yeah, so it's been really, really cool. A great learning experience. Lots of stuff to learn. Great exchange of information on VR Aviators group, and to whittle things down to optimal performance for the current release, and so far so good. And especially that I'm able to fly a third-party plane here at actually better frame rates than I can fly the C-172 G1000. So in any event, I'm just glad I can fly this plane because, like I said, it's one of my favorite planes. So that aside, let's get to what we're going to do tonight. Let's see. So I'm going to show you the plan here. Let me get my Chrome window up there. Boom. Okay, so we're in Lihu. We're at Lihu Airport, PHLI in Hawaii. We're going to be in FSEconomy, and we're going to PHNL on Honolulu. And this is the flight plan. Basically, it's about 90 miles, so not too long and over water, pretty much. But we'll be able to check out and talk a little bit about VR while we're flying. FSEconomy wise.
Flight 209er, clear for vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Shirk78, thanks for following. I appreciate that very much. I love that clip from Airplane. I think it's pretty funny. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate that. But here's what we're going to do here. We've got 3 passengers, making about $2,400 total. I own this plane, so I don't have to pay any rent on it. And I already have enough gas. I've got 30 gallons. We're only going 100 miles, so we should be fine there. And so I should probably make about $2,000 on this flight, which isn't bad for a 3-seater. It pays to own it. And this plane hasn't been rented that much since I've had it in Hawaii. Although I did leave it out here on Kauai, so I guess probably would have done better if I had it at Honolulu. But if you guys want to rent an SR20 in Hawaii, come on out and check out this plane. It's the tail number is 328 Tango Delta, and yeah, so check that out. Now the other plane I have is, just give you an update on that, my B1900D, which Red Harley Boy has been going to town on. He's put probably about 13 of these 15 hours, maybe more, 14 of these 16 hours on this plane. So appreciate that rental. This plane is headquartered or stationed in LaGuardia, which is a great place to fly a B1900D. Plenty of jobs on LaGuardia. So yeah, thanks to Red Harley Boy for renting the crap out of that plane. I appreciate that. But anyway, this is our flight for today. We're all loaded up, ready to depart, and this is the first time I'm going to be using FSEconomy with the new Native VR. Now today I was running Native VR on a separate install specifically for beta, but today I got brave and I upgraded my production system. I got rid of fly inside, and now we're full on 11.20 beta VR. That's what we're going from now on. There's going to be a little bit of stumbling in the cockpit with the not having, mouse, being able to get some of the harder reach areas, but I have a way around that, and we should be just fine. So in any event, let's get to it. So that's our plan, and let me get this off here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. I'll be checking it from time to time. When I'm in the plane, I won't have access to the chat, unfortunately, yet. Although a fix for that is coming, which is good. And just checking one more thing here before we start. All right, cool. So we're good to go. So let's get to it. I'm going to go into VR here. We're going to be teleporting around this plane, doing a pre-flight inspection. These are the kind of things you can do. So I got my touch controller right here. You guys can see in the screen, in the lower screen there. And what I do is I just press down on this joystick button, and boom, I can move a lot closer to the plane, so I can inspect the front of it. I'm not sure if I can open this stuff up. Man, that looks really cool close up. Look at you can even see like the dimples where the rivets are. That's pretty sweet. Never been this up close and had this type of graphics on this plane. Really nice. Go over here. There's the baggage compartment. Got our bag in there. Check it out. Okay. I'm not sure if we can close this door. Let's see if we can close the door. I don't know if we can. Nope, can't close the door. Oops. Not sure if we can close that door. We can close it from the inside. We can go back here. We can, probably a good place to stand is like right here. Then I could check all the flight systems. So there's the ailerons. Let's check our flaps. The plane's off, so the flaps aren't going to go down. There's our elevator. There's our rudder. Okay, so all that stuff is working just fine. Okay, we can go on the other side here and have a look at the, standing right by the tail. Have a look at the undercarriage of the plane. Make sure we can go down here. Probably crouch down here and check out the, oh, this is the problem with beta, this floating X-pad. It seems to float everywhere. But I tell you, I've never been this close to this plane before, and it looks very sweet. Wow, it looks like it's. I feel like I'm standing next to a real SR20. I'm serious. It feels like you're standing next to a real plane. Pretty cool. We're just teleporting around here and checking this plane out. And we could actually, if we want to, we can go over here. Check out the tower. There's the light. You can see that light rotating up there. I'm going to look back this way. There's our plane right there, just sitting by itself. And I don't believe we can teleport into the plane. No, that has to be built in by the developer. But for the most part, we can do everything else. So, looking good, man. I don't know about you guys, but I think I did a pretty good job on that livery. Any event, so let's assume our pre-flight is okay. Let's see that antenna under there? Wow, that's really cool. Little nose step. Check out the front of the plane. Up close. Wow, you can see inside the engine there. There's the lights. Prop looks in good place, good space. You can see the label on the prop. All right, looks good. Love that teleport function, really do. Some point you'll be able to see that you can't do this yet. You can do this in the stock planes. You'll be able to teleport right into that, okay? And that's what we'll look forward to at some point. All right, so while we're here, let's close these doors here. Just step back here a little bit so this looks a little cooler. So let's close these doors here. We'll close our cargo door. And we'll close our cockpit door. All right, that's all closed up. And now let's get over here. And we can remove the all the outside paraphernalia. Okay, that's all done. And the plane's ready to roll. So that's the kind of thing you can do in native VR, man. You can do this pre-flight inspection, which is pretty damn cool. Isn't that a great shot with a tower right there? You can see through the plane. You guys are looking at a 2D, but in 3D, it looks pretty cool. All right, so all I have to do now is press this button right here, and boom, I'm in the cockpit. That's my 3D presence, or my 3D cockpit button, and I just basically lean back here, get myself situated properly. And if I want to go outside, I hit this other button that gives me the chase. And now I got my what do you call it in here? I'm gonna actually, this is one of the problems with this plane is it always, oh, the boost isn't on. Okay, good. I want to make sure the boost isn't on. All right, so that said, we're gonna get this thing started up now. First time doing it with the Oculus Touch. And what's great here is I'm streaming, and I got 45 frames per second, which is pretty damn cool. And I do have plane command in here too. So, all right. So what we're gonna do is, first thing we want to do is let's turn on the batteries. We're gonna go bat 1, bat. Oops, come on, bat 1, bat 2. Get our flaps up. Okay. And we can go clear prop. Let's go. Let's get our mixture to full. And power about 3/4. Clear prop. And we're going to start that engine up. There you go. Beautiful. Okay, we got a good thing. Let's get our alternators on. A little touchy. Okay, that's a problem. It's a little touchy. Avionics on. We'll get our nav on, strobe on. Nav, strobe. We'll put the landing lights on just for giggles. We're not going to put the heat on. We don't need that. So there we are. We've got everything loaded. Now I do have a flight plan already loaded up in there, but we can check that out just to make sure we're okay. So I'm going to hit this flight. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's do back here. Okay. There's my flight plan. I'm going to Celic and then to PHNL. That's exactly what I want. We're going to set our CDI to GPS. Okay, that's good to go. We could check out our, let's see, we could check out our engine parameters. Let our mixture full. Okay, back to system. And we're not going to do any radios today because these are all towered airports, so we're going to assume we have clearance and all that stuff. And that should be pretty much it. I'm going to leave the heat on, I guess. Wow, pretty cool. Pretty easy startup now. Hopefully at some point, Laminar will give you the ability to reach around things like your yoke and stuff. I know they're working on some stuff to do that. That'll be good. But it looks like I can pretty much control everything in the cockpit here. So I want to turn the air conditioning on, I can do that. Okay, what I'm going to do is I want to set my altimeter. I'm at 155, so we're not going to fly too high. I'm going to set this at, we'll go to 2,000. What's nice is if you remember in Flying Side, you had that issue like where when you moved your head, it moved the mouse. You don't have that anymore. You could touch it, and you could touch the altimeter, you grab that, or the dial, you turn the dial, and you can look at the gauge so you know exactly what you're doing, which is very, very cool. All right, so that's that. We're going to go autopilot, but we don't want to autopilot on, but we're going to go heading. Well, we could turn all this stuff on when we're in the air. And let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, we want to load up FSEconomy. All right, that's a new one, so I don't have a way to do that. So I'm going to have to go into plugins. Oh, here we go. Plugins. You guys can't see this. Let me see if I can show you this window. Here we go. So this is the mirror window that you guys don't see. So I'm going to go to FSEconomy, open FSEconomy, log in. That worked. Start flight. Boom. Flight start. Got our 30 gallons and our 3 assignments. Beautiful. Okay, you can see our frame rates are about 45, which is exactly what we want. So good to go. All right. Everything working out just peachy. And Let's see if there's anything else we need here. I could actually hand fly it up to where, you know, where I want to go. But I think we're good to go. So we're all loaded up. Let's just make sure we got FSEconomy. Let's double check that. Make sure we're en route, which we are. Good. Okay. Sorry about that. I just was interrupted by Windows wanting to update my laptop in the middle of a stream. Don't you hate that, man? Such a pain in the ass sometimes. All right, cool. So we're good to go. You guys are seeing what I'm seeing. I think there's definitely been an upgrade in the visuals that you see too. But I could tell you that before we take off here, I did one last flight with Fly Inside today, just as a sort of a nostalgic thing. And there is a huge difference in the clarity. Huge difference. You know, I want to, you know, listen, Fly Inside was a great add-on. It really was, gave me hours and many hours of enjoyment to be able to fly in VR. And I appreciate everything that Fly Inside, those guys did to make that product what it was. And it really helped a lot of us get into VR aviation with Flying X-Plane, FSX, or even P3D. Well, those two are still available, obviously. Fly Inside is still available for X-Plane, but I think you're going to find that once you try native VR, it's going to be a much better than what you're used to with Fly Inside. But anyway, thank you to Daniel Church and all the folks at Fly Inside for everything you did to support me and others that have been using Fly Inside XP all along. You guys have been great at helping at supporting your product. So. And I'm sure, you know, you guys, I know you guys are working on a flight simulator. I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with, and we'll be looking for that. And I'm sure that if it's anything like Fly Inside was, it'll be pretty spectacular. So anyway, let's get to it now. So we are going to taxi here. I'm using CH Products yoke, CH Products flight pedal. Let me get myself centered here. That's the one thing about this button, so you can lean back and make sure you're centered, which is what you want, right? Now I have this hatch switch set up so that I can move myself left or right. I want to continue that, or I can move myself up or down if I feel like I'm too high or low in the seat. So, and that comes in handy with the touch, because if I want to come down here and let's say turn off the fuel pump, I could easily do that like that. That's why it's, if you have a hatch switch, use it. Okay, cool. So we're good to go here. Seatbelt's fastened. Flight plan is in, and let's get going. Just the smoothness of the way you're taxiing. It's like there's no... It's just completely smooth. Completely smooth. I could read all those taxiway signs too, which is really cool. And we're going to be flying to basically to the east, so I'm going to take off here to the east. Should have plenty of space to take off here, I hope. To the east, let's just see. Let me see what it looks like on this side. Yeah, we got enough room. All right, let's go. So smooth, man, so smooth. You can see the reflection of the runway in the sun visor too, which is wild. Although it seems to be the same thing. It's like a yellow line. All right, here we go. Let's go outside the plane here. You guys can see what we got here. That's our SR20. And we're off. Let's see, flaps to first, and then we're gonna rev this thing up. Full power. Little right rudder, keep things on the center line as best we can. Smooth movement. Smooth ass movement. Looking for 65, and there we go, and rotate. Okay, looking for 85. Kill the flaps. And we can kill them right there. Make our turn. Awesome. Just awesome. Although that water looks kind of weird. Looks like it was a hill in the water. Here's the shores of Kauai. Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to go to 2,000. I think we'll probably go to like 1,200. I think that should be fine. See that land moving so smoothly, like it's a real plane. I mean, it feels like you're in a real plane. That's how smooth it is. That's how smooth it is. Got a lot of water to cross here. All right, let's see if we can get our autopilot on. We're gonna go, oops, see this is the problem. Autopilot on, nav. Should hold right there. Beautiful. Should come up to 147. And we could probably lean it out a little bit. Drop the throttle back a little bit. Beautiful, operating great. I don't know, man. I don't know if vFlyteAir was like ready or what, but the only thing that you can't do is you can't use the touch to grab this yoke. Which I guess it would be kind of cool if you had your other touch on. You could like fly the plane like that. It actually feels pretty cool. Like if they could fix that, so you could have your elbow right here. I have my elbow on my desk chair, and you could be flying this plane like that. That's actually pretty cool, because that's like the real thing. Right? That would be cool. But that doesn't work yet. But everything else does work. Even the lights. You can turn this light on. Pretty cool. I know the caps works because I tried that. So that works if you need that. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Let's see, the comms. If you want to change your comms, you dial your comms. If you want to switch radios, you can do that. So everything on the MFD and the PFD you can access. So you can get a checklist. Yep, you can get a check into checklists. great. Awesome. All right, so what do we got here? We got 65 miles to go. It'll take us a few minutes, so. We're holding 45, which is awesome. Yeah, so there's been a lot of work by a lot of people on the VR Aviators group to tweak the settings in this version of X-Plane to optimize it. And it's going to depend on what system you have. You know, I have a fairly beefy PC. Some may not. And you could still run this native VR release with a, you know, with a 1070 or a 1060. You just have to compromise on your settings a little bit and maybe run low or medium settings. But if you set things up right, you should have a pretty good experience. And I mean, I'm here to tell you, here's no judder. Oh, someone just followed. Who's that following there? Well, I can't see it for some reason, but thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. For some reason, my just check here. So as I was saying, once you get it tweaked, it's pretty amazing. The clarity is amazing. I'm sitting here, you know, what would be in virtual life probably about 18 inches to 2 feet away from the displays, and I could read everything pretty well. I mean, the smaller text is a little blurry, but you could still make it out, and the larger text is easily legible. So now I'm running my super sampling at 1.8. I can run it at 2 as well because I have the headroom on my GPU, which I'll probably end up doing because if I have the headroom, why not do it? I mean, when I checked MSI Afterburner today, running the same scenario, I was at 45 frames per second. I was utilizing my GPU at like 38-39%. So still have a lot of headroom on the GPU. To spare, so that's why I'm running at higher super sampling rates. And that super sampling just it makes things clearer, and it allows you to dial down your anti-aliasing. So that's a good thing because anti-aliasing takes up each frames, and the lower you can have that, the better your frame rates are going to be. So you want to try to do that trade-off. If you can do super sampling on Rift or Vive to the point where you can eliminate most of your anti-aliasing, that's a good thing, because it's not like you're looking at a 2D monitor. You're looking at, you know, 3D, so the visuals are different. The shimmering is going to be a little bit different. So it's really to your own liking. I mean, I'm okay with a little bit of shimmering. Doesn't bother me too much. Oh, look at that wing; it's so crystal clear. Pretty cool. But anyway, lots discovered. So that's why I highly recommend, if you want to, if you'd like to, let me show you. The VR Aviators group. Let me pull that up here. Highly recommend, if you're into VR aviation, check it out. Whether it's X-Plane, P3D, DCS, IL2, whatever you're flying, Airfly FS2, or they have a Rift or a Vive or whatever you have, Windows, mixed reality. Join up here, check out the VR Aviators group on Facebook. Just type in VR Aviator group and you'll get here. And there's 600 and some odd members that are all willing to help you if you run into problems or if you have questions or whatever. So make sure you check that out, okay? VR Aviators group. Man, I can't believe how good this looks. I mean, you can see the stitching on the panel there, on the dash there, the overhang on the instrument panel. You can see the stitching, which is pretty cool. Let's check outside. Let's check out some of the views here. So I'm going to go to my my Oculus Touch here, and I'm going to hit the menu button, and I'm going to go to Views, and we could look at the ride-along view. That's a cool view. I love that view. Now I can use the joystick here to kind of spin that around. It looks like it's on a pivot because we're over the ocean, but there's a landmass behind us that we just came from. That's pretty cool. That's the ride-along view. Nice. I never noticed that fine wire right there underneath the belly of the plane. I never noticed that before. I never saw that in flying inside. It's the first time I've ever seen that. It's really... That tells you the clarity. Even a smaller antenna I could see there on the bottom that I never noticed before either. Right there, that little black one. Never noticed that before. Well, you could teleport. Ooh. I just teleported down to the water. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I guess when you're flying, you could teleport. Well, let me try something here. I'm going to go outside. Where's that landmass? Behind us, right? Over there. Let me see if I can teleport to the... Oh, no, it doesn't go. It goes down. Okay, so I guess it has a limited distance it can go. We're in the water. Where's the plane? Alright. Just fun with the teleporting. So anyway, we were taking a look at views. So let's go to the ride-along we saw, the circle view we saw, chase view. That's this one here. Just a little further out. Okay. So clear looking. So that's our views. Let's see what else can we do here. We could do, we're not going to do a replay now, but we could do a replay of our takeoff if we wanted to, and then come back. Just pause it, do a replay, and start. But I'll make sure we do a replay of the landing. That's a nice feature that never had before. Always wanted to do replays of landings during streams or whatever, and couldn't do it because the flying side, there was a difference between what you saved in VR and what you saved in 2D, so it never translated well. Not anymore. Now you've got replay. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm imagining you could save a flight and watch it in 2D if you'd like. So I'm gonna actually try that, make sure that works. That's something you could never do before, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty much it. So let's just get rid of that. Surprised I haven't killed the battery in my touch controller yet. Because if I can put that right there, I have a little touch holder, so I can put it right there, and it looks like it's sort of like got its own position on the. There you go, just like that. It looks pretty cool. It's just sitting on this little holder. I don't know if you guys can see that. Right here. All the wonderful things you can do in VR. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. My bad. Oh, so you missed all the... I got the Christmas thing up. I got that up. I got the wrong thing up. Give me a second here. I'm all screwed up. I don't need that Christmas one anymore. Sorry about... Oh. Damn it. Overlay that guy. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, cool. Yeah, sorry, so you missed let me show you the views again. Alright, so I got my Oculus Touch here. Okay, so I'm gonna go boom, I'm gonna go to view. We'll do the ride along. There's the ride along right by the tail. Pretty cool view. I was saying underneath there you can see that little antenna, the one that's facing down and one that's facing back. I never saw those in Fly Inside before because they're pretty fine and they just didn't have the pixel density to pick them up, so that's pretty cool. So that's the one view. Then we can go to circle view. That's kind of like the chase view, but it circles around like that. Okay. And then we go to the, that's the chase view, pretty almost like the circle view. And then what I was saying is you can hit the teleport button, and we could teleport down to the water. What if we could see the plane? Let's see if we can see the plane. No, we can't see the plane. Oh, there it is. Look at that. You can see the plane. That's pretty cool. Here I go. Oh, the wonders of VR. So lots of fun you can have with the touch controller. Hey Shirk, you're welcome, man. I appreciate you stopping by the stream, and thanks for checking everything out. I appreciate it. All right, inaugural flight in Native VR with FSEconomy, the first time. So we got 13 minutes, 35 miles, making good time. Probably want to switch my tanks over to the right tank. I got a button set up for that. Boom, it's set. There's Donovan. You guys want to check out the, I have a Patreon page. There's a link in the description and also below on the Twitch stream. I have a couple of sponsors. Donovan is my only quote-unquote ace sponsor. At that level, you get your name on my plane. I do have a couple other sponsors, Tim Wells and Four Wheel, and I appreciate the sponsors that I have, and thanks for sponsoring on Patreon. And also, the subscribers I have on Twitch, I really do appreciate that as well, guys. So thanks for all the support you guys give my channel and my streaming and stuff. I really do appreciate it. Looking forward to it, because now with this clarity in VR, it just makes things so much cooler, so much more fun. I can't wait to get into the B1900D and do some FSEconomy. Now I was doing some testing on that today earlier, and I'm probably going to have to run the frame rates a little lower, because my production X-Plane system has ortho and everything at like 17 and 18 zoom level, so that's pretty dense graphics. And I have overlay stuff, autogen, so there's a lot to process, so it's a little bit more CPU and GPU intensive than my beta system. So I found with like the B1900D, I've had to dial back the settings a little bit, and also I was experimenting with the Quest Kodiak today, and I got that to work, but again on the lower settings, but it still looks great. But I'll be doing some flying with the Quest Kodiak. I found that there are 2 Quest Kodiaks in Hawaii, so there'll be some cool. I could do some cool flights in Hawaii with the Quest Kodiak. Still getting used to flying that plane. It's a pretty cool plane, but it's a different type of flight model and flight operation, I should say. So I'm still getting used to that, but I'm looking forward to flying that in VR as well. It's a great plane, the Quest Kodiak. It's got a G1000 in it, and looks pretty cool. Now, the one thing I did find today, and I posted this on VR Aviators group, was that getting back to the stock planes, the C-172 X-Plane stock plane, the standard plane with just the steam dials is great. It runs solid at 45 frames per second at the high settings. The settings that you see in that video I made yesterday of how to get 45 frames per second, you can check that out on YouTube. But when I go to the G1000 version of that, it drops frames of about 5 frames per second, which is just enough to put it in stuttering, or I should say judder. So I hope that Laminar works on optimizing that G1000 a little bit, because I think, you know, it's going to slow things up a little bit, and you know, kind of limit you're going to have to change your settings when you run the G1000 version of the Cessna versus the regular. So in any event, just a little thing that I found out today. inside the plane here. Now, one of the key things I found too that definitely has an effect on frame rates, at least to my testing, is visibility. I used to have visibility on 100 nautical miles because I wanted to see everything that was out there. But when you think about that, that's not really realistic, right? So I changed that to 10 nautical miles, and that gave me some frames back. So that's something you definitely want to look at. And again, in that video, it's called get 45 frames per second at high ratings or something like that. I just put it up on my YouTube channel yesterday. Check that out. There's some good information there. And that information came from a bunch of people on the VR Aviators group that found different things that helped improve frame rate. And I kind of put them all together in one video. And it's helped a few people out already. So that's, if you're struggling with that, you're new to Oculus, you're struggling with some things, you might want to check that out. It is for Oculus Rift. Although with Vive, it's probably because Steam VR is your native system. It's probably you're losing the home Oculus Home part of it. You'll probably get some benefit to that. But in any event, the one I did is for Oculus Rift. Check that out if you're struggling, and hopefully that'll help you. All right, so there's the island there. Kind of a weird reflective haze on it. Hopefully we don't have that when we get to close to landing here. All right, we got about 7 minutes to our turn. We're going to make a left-hand turn into Honolulu. And I also found that there's some people talking about the zoom function. Now, if you're a flying side user, you remember at least for me, I use the mouse wheel to zoom in. But what you can do is, I'm going to show you the X-plane. This is the mirror screen. See, you can see I got my mouse. You want to have this window active, okay? And once you have this window active, I can use my mouse wheel to scroll in. So if in VR you need to be able to get in and see those airports that are 10 miles in the distance, you can do that as long as you have this window selected, and you could rotate your mouse wheel, and you could use it like the binoculars, like we're used to using with flying side. It's actually smoother. Or if you want to zoom into the instrument panel, you can do that too. Okay, just wherever you're looking, it's going to zoom in. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful. That's definitely something you want to check out. Little tips and tricks. All right, so we're getting close to our turn here. Now at the turn, we're going to have 16 miles into Honolulu. So I'm going to start to slow the plane down at about 10 miles, and then we'll bring her in. There's the island over there. Now, I might increase my visibility to like 25. Maybe 20 is too short of a distance. 25 might be better. But I think having that little bit of a haze is sort of a natural thing, so I don't mind it too much. And if it helps with the frame rates, that's what's most important. Yeah, it seems like we got some weird reflections. Yeah, so I'm actually awaiting the next update of 11.20 VR. Expecting them to have an answer to the touch bounce bumping into physical objects issue. I'm expecting them to have a response to that. Hopefully, maybe we'll see some optimization improvements. We'll see a few things fixed, like a few bugs here and there fixed. And like right now, I really can't use the X-Pad because it just shows a bunch of like weather, wind indication on it. So that's a problem that I've had with it. Let me just check that out. Maybe since I can't install the new system, it might be fixed here. Let's see, show map. Yeah, no. See, it has like the weather indicators. It doesn't work properly. It does show the map, which is cool. So the way this map works is, let me just bring this up here so you guys can see it. Okay, so if I place the laser on there, and I could use the joystick to zoom in and zoom out, and I'm clicking the trigger key to move the mouse around. So if I want to really zoom in here, I can zoom right in there. Oh, I see what the problem was. I wasn't zoomed in far enough. Yeah, see, it's usually user error. Although I don't know why it has all these wind indicators on there. Maybe I have to turn that off on the system or something, but anyway. See, I'm flying that route right there. Looks like I'm flying an airway, which is completely... Well, I guess it's not by chance because I use the GPS. Anyway, so I'm going to grab this, put it right down there, and lots of fun stuff. So one of the things that one of the things that is interesting, and someone put a video up on the VR Aviators group this afternoon, is that with the new Oculus Home 2.0, it has the ability to allow you to import an external window into the Oculus view. So that means hopefully you could bring things in here like an iPad view, or like you could bring in chat, or you can bring in whatever, Discord, whatever you want, TeamSpeak, whatever, into the cockpit view, which is really something that is going to be needed. Now, as far as an iPad view, I think you could still need like a server to communicate between your iPad and your PC. There's a couple of them out. One's Air server, and the other one's called XMigrate. I think the XMigrate one uses less resources. I've been experimenting with that. There's also an app called it was hold on, I'll tell you. Called OVR Drop. That's available on Steam. It allows you to bring an external window into VR. It's a little complicated, but I did test it. It does work. But I'm hoping that the Oculus Home route works well, because that's what I'm planning on using. So hopefully that works well. All right, so we're coming up to our turn here. I guess I can declutter this. Don't need all that stuff. One thing I recommend is, if you're going to use the Oculus Touch, is to have some sort of holder. You can see here, I've got this holder, okay? The Touch kind of sits in like that, all right? My brother-in-law actually 3D printed these for me, but you can buy these pretty cheaply on eBay or whatever. But it's nice to have that because, you know, you're going to be putting this thing down a lot, unless you want to put it on your wrist, which I don't like to do. But it's nice to have a place to kind of like put it down, because it doesn't really sit well on a desk by itself. Alrighty. Here comes our turn. And there's our turn. Let's check out the ride-along view for that. Yeah, there's definitely detail that I've never seen on this plane before. That's cool. That's cool. Start to slow the plane down. "12 miles out." Now I'm hoping that laminar does something with the zooming, so you don't need the mouse anymore. We'll see. Well, there's my airport there. No, that's not it. That's not it. It's way out there. I see it. Okay, right out there. Okay, cool. Look how smooth that motion is. There's a little bit of stuttering if you really look close enough, but for the most part, that ortho looks pretty damn cool. Alright, we're going to get ready for our landing here, and we want our... Oh, what the hell happened there? Oh, I know what happened. I have the throttle. I had the throttle back too far. I'm like, what happened? And my trim is set way too high. So that was on autopilot. We're going to hand fly it. Why not? Can't leave everything to autopilot, right? I mean, once in a while you get a little bit of micro stuttering, but I could live with that. All right, let's check out our... All right, that's our runway right there, right in front of us. Starting to make it out now. We're 8 miles out. Starting to make out the runway now. All right. Mixture gas is good. Both tanks are the same. Undercarriage is welded. The mixture is in, and prop we don't have to worry about. You definitely need that zoom. If any developers are watching, this is why you need zoom. You need to be able to see that runway from a distance in VR. Beautiful golf courses in Hawaii. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. Let's get that first notch of flaps in there. One thing you have to learn in VR is you really need to do slow head movements. You can't really be jerking your head around. It's slow head movements. You know, that's really what seems to work the best. Kind of move your head around slowly. Now, since you have this fluid motion, it's a different feel to flying the planes. It's you know, because let me try to explain this. Because there's more granularity in the way the plane moves, it's a little bit more interesting and challenging to fly in X-Plane VR. Hope that explains it. Because with flying inside, like, you didn't have the granularity, like you had. It was a little chunkier, especially when the frame rates slowed down. But now, when you're running 45 frames per second, you know, you got to do everything right to get the bird on the ground the right way. All right, second notch of flaps. Yeah, I saw a couple of posts. People were interested in the Coronado SR22. I mean, it looks like a pretty plane, but it's not. I just came off. Just came on the top of my head. It's not optimized for X-Plane 11. I highly recommend this plane, vFlyteAir SR20, over that. The G1000 on this is much better. It flies much better. Frame rates are much better. You can see I'm operating it in VR. Highly recommend checking this out. It's optimized for X-Plane 11, and you know, the guys that fly at vFlyteAir are constantly, you know, working on it to keep this thing updated. They come out releases probably about every 4 to 6 months to improve the plane, so that's a good thing. So I highly recommend checking this plane out. And again, I'm not paid to do that. I bought this plane, 35 bucks. I just like it that much. All right, we're on final here. We got a good angle here, good angle of descent. And we're going to slow that plane down. We're at 85 knots. Keep slowing that plane down. Like I said, different feel even landing because it's so smooth. Flare that out. And just bring it right down. It floated a little bit. All right, flaps up. You got X-Plane Realistic going. That's why you got the head bobbing and the really cool sounds. Highly recommend that plugin. Now, I did get a free copy of that, so full disclosure, but it's a good plugin. X-Plane Realistic. Definitely is. All right, let's get off here. And then we'll check out a replay. And we're starting to get a little bit of judder because we got all this auto-gen. But it's not too bad. What we'll do is we'll park over here and then we'll check out our the replay. Set parking brake. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Beautiful. Plane command works well. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's shut the plane off. And let's let me get my FSEconomy squared away, so I don't forget to do that. Finish flight. And we'll take a look at that in a little bit. But for now, let's shut this plane down. Let's see. We're gonna go boom, 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 boom. Boom. Ooh, there we go. It's off. And the plane is shut off. Beautiful. Now, what we'll do is we'll take our controller. We'll go here, replay, and we'll back it up. Don't make a liar out of me now. That's kind of weird. And then what we could do is we'll hit play right there, and we'll check out our landing. Kind of a steep angle there. I think I floated a little bit. Here we go. We're going to flare it out here. We're floating a little bit. Oh, that's a pretty good angle. All right, not bad. Didn't kill the shocks. And that's how you do it. Cool. And replay. And that's going to be about it, guys. Well, listen, I appreciate you guys watching. Exciting, very exciting to have Native VR, and lots and lots of fun. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Bambino Games for more virtual reality X-Plane 11. In virtual reality, I should say. Thanks for following and subscribing and all that stuff. And thanks for supporting the channel. Guys, take care and have a great evening.